What if I told you that the future of humanity may be a chilling horror story? Imagine this for a moment. A world, not too far from now, a landscape forever altered by the ravages of a Third World War. The once vibrant and bustling cities now stand desolate and abandoned, their towering structures crumbling under the weight of time and neglect. The skies, once a canvas of blue and white, are now a perpetual shroud of grey, choked with the pollutants of a civilization that cared little for its impact on the earth. The infrastructure that once supported the flow of life and commerce now lies in ruins. Roads, once arteries of a thriving civilization, are now broken and fragmented, much like the society they once served. The world has become a dystopian nightmare, a shadow of its former self. But the most terrifying aspect of this future isn't the physical decay. It's the disintegration of the very fabric that holds society together, our relationships and our sense of empathy. In this grim future, individuals prioritize their own emotions over survival, over relationships. We have become a society obsessed with our own feelings, often at the expense of understanding and empathizing with others. In this world, hatred and disgust have become the currency of human interaction. We no longer value the thoughts and feelings of others, choosing instead to despise them for their differences. The capacity for human connection and cooperation, once our greatest strength, is now a distant memory. This is a world where the individual reigns supreme, and the collective is forgotten. A world where empathy and understanding take a backseat to personal gratification. A world where the survival of the fittest has been replaced by the survival of the most self-obsessed. As the world around us crumbles, so do our relationships and sense of empathy. This is the chilling horror story of our potential future. Is this the legacy we want to leave for the generations yet unborn? Or can we change the narrative and write a different ending to our story? In this dystopian future, human relationships decay as individuals prioritize their own emotions over empathy and understanding. Imagine a world where connections are severed, not by distance or time, but by the walls of ego and self-interest individuals build around themselves. It is a world where the concept of we has been replaced by I. Trust, compassion, and understanding, once the foundation stones of relationships, are now relics of a bygone era. How did we arrive at this chilling reality? It began with a shift in the societal fabric. People started despising each other, not for their actions, but for their thoughts and feelings. The value of human connection and cooperation was lost in the noise of individualism and self-preservation. The result? A society filled with disgust and hatred. Conversations turned into monologues, friendships morphed into rivalries, and love stories turned into tales of betrayal. The culture of empathy, which once united us, was replaced by a culture of apathy, tearing us apart. In this world, a person's worth is measured not by their kindness or their ability to love, but by their ability to survive alone. The mantra of survival is simple. The less you care about others, the more you thrive. It's a terrifying reality, where people are more concerned with protecting their feelings than understanding those of others. It's a world where empathy is seen as a weakness, a liability in the ruthless game of survival. The horror of this world is not just in its desolate landscapes and polluted skies, but in the cold hearts and empty souls of its inhabitants. But let's pause for a second. Is this the world we want to live in? A world where we are so consumed by our own feelings that we forget to empathize with others, where we despise others not for their actions but for their thoughts and feelings. We should remember that the essence of humanity lies in our ability to understand, empathize, and love. It is these qualities that differentiate us from the beasts of the wild. In this world, empathy and understanding have become extinct, replaced by self-preservation and hatred. As we venture into the cosmos, even the alien life forms we encounter view us as mere insects. A chilling prospect, isn't it? These extraterrestrial beings, advanced beyond our comprehension, look down upon us not with awe or admiration, but with a mixture of pity and revulsion. But why is this so? To understand this, we must step outside our human-centric perspective and view ourselves through the impartial, unclouded lens of an alien observer. What do they see? They gaze upon a world ravaged by war, our once vibrant planet now a desolate wasteland. They see skies choked with pollution, cities in ruins, and a populace living in fear and distrust. But what truly horrifies these alien onlookers is not the physical destruction, but the decay of our humanity. They see a society where empathy and understanding have been replaced by self-centered emotions. They witness individuals prioritizing their feelings over the survival of their relationships, leading to a world filled with disgust and hatred. In the grand cosmic theater, we humans are not the heroes we often imagine ourselves to be. Instead, we appear as tragic characters, capable of great things, yet often choosing the path of destruction. Our potential for love, creativity, and cooperation is overshadowed by our capacity for hatred, division, and self-destruction. This is the horrifying image we present to our alien observers. We are a species that despises others for their thoughts and feelings, a society that values personal ego over collective harmony. We are a civilization that has forgotten the simple truth that our strength lies in our unity, not in our division. So as these extraterrestrial beings look upon us, they see not a species to be emulated, but a cautionary tale. A stark warning of what can happen when empathy is replaced by ego, when cooperation gives way to conflict, and when love is drowned out by hatred. Our future selves, seen through alien eyes, are a species to be pitied, not admired. A sobering thought indeed. But there is still time to change, to prove that we are more than the sum of our faults. We have the power to rewrite our story, to show the cosmos that humanity is worth more than a cursory glance. We only need the courage to change. In a world already on the brink, we've invented new ways to divide ourselves. Enter the cancel culture conundrum, a phenomenon that has emerged as the latest tool of societal division. It's a peculiar practice where people are cancelled or ostracized for often trivial reasons, creating an environment where fear of cancellation stifles open conversation and breeds resentment. Let's take a closer look at a recent example. Mr. Beast, a philanthropist known for his charitable works, is no stranger to this conundrum. Despite building 100 wells in Africa and funding medical treatments to help cure blindness and deafness, he too has become a target of this cancel culture. His acts of kindness, instead of being celebrated, have been met with criticism and hate. A question begs to be asked: why? Why do we, as a society, so often choose to focus on the negative over the positive? Why do we seek reasons to cancel someone, even when their actions clearly demonstrate a desire to make the world a better place? It's as if we've become so consumed by our own feelings that we've forgotten how to empathize with others. Instead, we've allowed our emotions to dictate our actions, leading to a culture of hate and division. This phenomenon is not only harmful to the individuals who face cancellation, but it's also damaging to our society as a whole. It fosters a climate of fear, where people are afraid to speak their minds or take actions for fear of being cancelled. It hinders progress and stifles creativity, as people become more concerned with avoiding controversy than pushing boundaries and challenging the status quo. In this desolate, dystopian world, we've already seen the horrifying effects of prioritizing our own feelings over empathy and understanding. We've witnessed the decay of human relationships and the rise of a society filled with disgust and hatred. Yet in the midst of all this horror, we've managed to make it even more horrifying by turning on each other. In a world filled with horror, we've made it even more horrifying by turning on each other. In the end, the horror of our future is not just in the physical decay of our world, but the decay of our relationships and humanity. As we peer into the terrifying abyss of our potential future, we see a world scarred by the ravages of war. Its once vibrant landscapes now a desolate wasteland. The skies, once a boundless canvas of blue, are choked with the pollution of our own making. But perhaps more horrifying than the physical decay of our world is the deterioration of our relationships and our sense of humanity. In this dystopian future, empathy and understanding have given way to self-centeredness and scorn. We've become a society where individual emotions take precedence over compassion and mutual respect. We've allowed our personal feelings to eclipse our ability to empathize and understand one another, breeding a culture of contempt and hatred. Imagine a world where human connection and cooperation, the very foundation of our civilization, are reduced to mere afterthoughts. A world where we hold others in disdain for their thoughts and emotions, rather than valuing the diversity of our human experience. This is not the legacy our ancestors intended for us, nor is it the future we should aspire to leave for our descendants. Consider the alien perspective, hundreds of years from now. Will they look upon us with admiration, or will they see us as we see insects, insignificant and devoid of worth? The answer lies in our hands. The cancel culture conundrum is a prime example of this decay. We live in a time where the benevolent actions of individuals like Mr. Beast, who has done so much good for humanity, are overshadowed by baseless criticism. Instead of celebrating his contributions, we find reasons to despise him. Why? In the face of adversity, we need to foster empathy, understanding, and cooperation. We must remember that our survival depends not only on the health of our planet, but also on the health of our relationships and our humanity. Our future is a chilling horror story, but it's one we're writing for ourselves.